Okay, so today we're going to start looking at logarithms and what they have to do with exponents. So I just want to give you a quick little example problem of why we're doing this. So if you remember last week, we ended up with problems where we had something like 1,000 equals 21.5 to the t. And last week, the only way that we knew how to solve this problem was to put it in y1 and put it in y2 and find where they intersect. However, there's a quicker and faster way that involves logarithms. And I'm going to show you how this works. And you'll be able to do this by the end of the week. So right now, you're not expected to be able to do this, but you would be able to do it by the end of the week. So first thing I did was divide both sides by 20, and then I'm going to change it into log form, which is base of 1.5, argument is 50 to the t power. And then there's a special way we can type this in our calculator, and like I said, I'll show that to you as the week goes on in these lessons in the next coming days. But you would get the answer of 9.648. Which is the same answer you'd get the other way when we put it in y1 and y2, but it's just much quicker. So this is the entire reason why logarithms were created, and it's so that you can solve equations where the variable is an exponent. So that's why we have them. So in this first lesson, we're just going to start changing from one form to the other. So in this first problem, I have 3 to the x power equals 9. So your question you should ask yourself is 3 to the what power is 9. Okay, and that's an easy one. What is it? 2. So 3 squared equals 9. However, what if we have one like this? 3 to the what power is 7. Well, that's not as easy. We don't know what that is. We don't know what, it's not a whole number because 3 to the 1 is 3 and 3 to the 2 is 9. So it's somewhere between there, but it's a decimal. And that's where logarithms came in to help us answer these kinds of questions. So first of all, look at these 3 little sets and see if you can find the pattern. So look for a couple minutes, maybe pause the video, see if you can find the pattern. So pause, come back. Okay, have you found the pattern? There's the 3, there's the 2, there's the 9. Follows the same pattern every time. So I'm going to show you, or we're going to write down that pattern using these vocabulary words. Base, or exponent, base, and argument. Argument might be a new one, but it's just kind of like the answer, like what it equals. So, and the way you would write this is we have base, exponent equals argument. And that is the one you should be very familiar with, like 3 squared equals 9. Okay, when we turn that as a logarithm, you write log, little base, argument equals exponent. Okay, so log, I'm going to write it above actually. Log base 3 of 9 equals 2. So it's the same 3 numbers, same 3, 9, and 2. You just have to learn how to rearrange them. So once again, we have base, argument, exponent, and base, argument, exponent. They're just in a little bit of a different order. So you do need to memorize that. I want to go over how you say it because that's one of those things that people kind of mess up or forget about. So the way you say this one is log base 3 of 9 is 2. And you just replace these 3 numbers with whatever it is. So log base 5 of 1/25 is negative 2. So you need to memorize this log base of is because that's how you say it. Okay. One other thing to note is that the base always has to be greater than 1. Oh, I'm sorry, that should say 0. No, I was right. The base always has to be greater than 1, and the argument has to be greater than 0. That should be a 0. Okay, so the base has to be greater than 1, and the argument has to be greater than 0. And it always is. Exponent's the only thing that can be negative. Okay, so now let's look at a few sample problems. So it says write each of these in exponential form. And So we'd write to the base is 2, to the third power is 8. Okay, so the next one, base is 2 to the negative 2 power equals 1/4. Base of 2 to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so pause it and you try the next ones and then look and check with mine. Okay, make sure that you always make your exponents small and make them look like exponents and not fractions. So you don't want this to look like 16 and 1/4 equals 2. Make sure it's 16 to the 1/4 power. So this would be bad and this is good. Okay, so these next bottom ones are right in log form. So we're going to do the same thing. So log base 2 of 16 is 4. But really helps if you learn to say it, because it'll help you memorize the pattern. I say it every time. Log base 2 of 1/2 is -1. Log base 32 of 2 is 1/5. Okay, so try these next few. Okay, so check those answers, maybe pause it again, make sure you got those right. Okay, now turn it over to the page on the back. And without your calculator, you're supposed to see if you can figure these out, just to start working on the patterns. So in this first case in your mind, you think, okay, 10 to the what power equals 1,000? And hopefully you know that that's 3. Okay, the next one, 5 to the what power is 25? Once again, I hope you know that that's 2. Now you might have to think about these a little bit. 4 to the what power is 64? That's 3. Okay, look at this next one. 4 to the what power is -16? Well, what did we just find out about the argument? It has to be greater than 0. So is this one greater than 0? So there is no solution. Okay, so I want you to pause again and see if you can figure these out in your head without using your calculator, and see if you can figure out what it is. So give them a shot. Back. Hopefully you've tried them all. This one's probably the trickiest one, and if you didn't get it, that's okay. You'll still be able to do the rest of this lesson just fine. So let's look at these. We just have 2 more problems, so make sure you answered these. And then the last 2 problems, you're going to change to exponential form. So 8 to the 4/3 equals n. So n equals, and you can type this in your calculator, guys. You're going to do 8 caret, and it's going to bring up the little box, and do 4/3. And the answer is 16. And here the same thing, 27 to the 2/3 equals n, and n is 9. So maybe give this a shot. Okay, now you're ready to try the practice. Good luck, guys.